this evening. Fire outbreak in Rumola, Obiakpo local government area. 3 die from Port Harcourt gas explosion as government seals gas station. Commissioner for Health, Ore, confirms admission of 16 victims of gas explosion. Over 570,000 Nigerians apply for customs job in just 1 week. On the foreign scene, John Mahama sworn in as Ghana's new president. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Mental health is real. Seek help and the stigma. Fire has damaged 2 shops at Oni Moon Plaza, Rumola, Obiakpo local government area. The cause of the fire is not yet known, but reports say no one was injured. We gathered 2 trucks of the fire service. We gathered 2 trucks of the fire service arrived on time to put out the fire. Our correspondent Samuela is at the scene of the incident and brings more details. We will now connect with our correspondent Sam Wala, who is at the scene of the incident. Sam, can you hear me? Hello, Sam, can you hear me? Yeah. Can you give us a quick description of what the situation is at Rumola?
Okay, at the close, just along the Rumola Road, there's been a fire outbreak somewhere. It affected a bar mostly. 3 shops, including a chemist, were destroyed as a result of the inferno. But then the actual cause is still sketchy. However, properties are really destroyed. At the cruise, like I said, just along the Rumola Road.
Have you been able to talk to any of the shop owners to have any insight as to what may have been the probable cause?
One of them here is a nurse. She sells chemist to a pharmacy actually, but then she's still not able to talk to me as to what has really transpired. But then she's in fears and trying to gather the remains of her shop.
So if
but the entire building is not destroyed, just that the properties inside, including the ceilings and the properties like furniture were destroyed, mostly at the bar.
Okay. And the fire is under control?
Yeah, the fire has been put off.
All right, thank you.
I understand it took the efforts of residents around here, but then the situation is not all that huge.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time. Moving on now. Moving on, 3 of the victims of the Port Harcourt gas explosion are said to have died in the hospital. One of the neighbors, Michael Todu, told our correspondent at the hospital today that the 3 females and a male, including the phone repairer known as Aya and his daughter, died as a result of the severe burns they suffered from the explosion. Mr. Todu also said his other 16-year-old neighbor who died from the explosion has been buried at a cemetery.
The thing affects my shop somehow. So today we just come back for cemetery. We'll go bury one of our colleagues who are near us. So the matter really affects many people. Like now, many people there in the hospital. 3 people don't die already. That's what we are facing. That one is just a little girl. It's one of my neighbors just there near my shop. So my shop, so just 16, 17 years. It's my neighbor. See my shop, so a shop over there. So we used to relate together. She dey sell clothes for boutique. Yeah, they don't bury her. We just they come back from the cemetery when we go bury her today. Just now.
It was gathered that the victims who were rushed to a nearby medical center at Akani War Road along Orazi were later referred to the military hospital and teaching hospitals in Rivers State. 13 lock-up shops and 2 makeshift stores were affected by the explosion. The plazas beside and opposite the scene of the incident, housing mostly boutiques and saloons, are all closed due to the effect of the fire. The scene has now been sealed off by the Rivers State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development. Meanwhile, Rivers State Commissioner for Health, Adeze Ora, says the State University Teaching Hospital is currently managing about 16 victims of the gas explosion at Orazi in Port Harcourt. Dr. Ora, who spoke when she paid a visit to the site of the explosion, said the state government is carrying out activities to sensitize certain service providers so that clear guidelines are communicated to them on how to operate.
It brings us to recognize the fact that many commercial activities have implications for livelihoods of citizens and residents of the state. And so while we in health are doing the utmost to ensure the survival of those who were transferred to our facilities from the site, we are still going further to engage directly with the other relevant line ministries to ensure that clear guidelines are communicated to the public and so that the lives of the people of the state are always protected.
In the meantime, a cooking gas station has been sealed in Rumukuta, Obiakpo local government area. The chairman of the council, Chijuke Nwo, sealed the station a day after he announced a ban on gas stations within residential areas. Mr. Nwo said the government is determined to do the right thing to forestall future occurrences. In other news, the Nigeria Center for Disease Control says the country is at moderate risk for human metapneumovirus. In a public health advisory, the agency said the federal government is closely monitoring the outbreak of the virus and is taking safety measures to strengthen the country's preparedness and response capacity. He said the NCDC is working to give Nigerians timely, accurate information and guidance to keep the Nigerian public informed and prepared. The federal government is strengthening surveillance at major international airports in Nigeria to guard against the outbreak of human metapneumovirus recently discovered in China. The Minister of Health, Muhammad Pate, also directed port health officers to begin to check arriving passengers for any symptom of the virus. And environmentalist Mike Karikpo says he expects the Rivers State government to set up an emergency management agency this year. Mr. Karikpo, the country manager, Natural Justice Nigeria, said this to correspondent Onyeka Chinwosu while speaking on the gains and challenges in the environmental sector in 2024. He said a statutory agency will solve the long-term problems that come with flooding.
Set up the State Emergency Management Agency, and it will have the duty of ensuring that it deals with the flood issues as they come. The flooding will not stop because of the climate crisis. It will only exacerbate, it will only intensify. So you require that sort of statutory body to be able to deal with the day-to-day and the multifaceted issues that will come with flooding. And if we do the ad hoc stuff that we've been doing, then we run into the same problems that we ran into this year.
He warned that failure to set up a statutory agency will worsen the problem of flooding in subsequent years. He exonerated the state government from the problem of oil pollution because it falls under the duties of the federal government. He, however, called for continuous awareness in 2025.
oil pollution is resident within the exclusive list. This is something that federal government duty to take care of if it is oil pollution. How the state manages this is a bit of an issue because it has to depend on the federal agencies such as NOSTRA to do that, and the security agencies to prevent oil theft and the breakage of or vandalism of pipelines. But the issue there is that have we done enough as a state to sensitize our people about the impacts of crude oil theft and artisanal oil refining?
On the issue of waste management, the environmentalists commended the state government but advised them to explore the economic potentials of waste management this year.
There ought to be some level of science to this thing. There ought to be some level of intentionality to how we deal with waste so that there is some business out of it. People make money out of it, and we can create an ecosystem for employing people in sorting waste, in utilizing or recycling waste materials, and in fact having a circular economy within our system.
Still to come, over 570,000 Nigerians apply for customs job in just 1 week. To stay tuned, we'll go for a quick break. Back now to the rest of the newscast. An educationist, Ben Inyewesira, is calling on the Rivers State government to organize an education summit to bring together stakeholders from the public and private sectors to chart a roadmap for the short and long-term development of education in the state. Dr. Inyewesira, a lecturer at the University of Port Harcourt, made the call in an interview with correspondent Emeka Otuka while outlining his projections for the education sector in 2025. He expressed hope that such a summit would help Rivers State overtake Anambra State as the state with the lowest rate of out-of-school children by 2025. He said according to statistics from Cable Index, Rivers State currently ranks 29th among the 36 states with 7.9% of our school children compared to Anambra with 2.9%, the lowest in the country. Dr. Inyewesira also urged the state government to prioritize upgrading infrastructure and facilities in public schools across Rivers State. In the security sector, a security expert, Ayuba Tanimu, said in the security sector, Ayuba Tanimu, a security expert, is advocating for an effective community as a solution to address security challenges in the state in 2025. He also emphasized the need for a restructured legal system to ensure that criminal offenders are prosecuted appropriately. Barely 1 week after the Nigeria Customs Service opened its portal for 2024-2025 recruitment exercise, over 573,000 job seekers have submitted applications for the available positions. In an update on the ongoing recruitment process, the NCS National Public Relations Officer, Abdullahi Maiwada, said a total of 573,519 applicants have already applied for the 3,927 vacant positions.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
On the foreign scene, John Mahama has taken the oath of office as Ghana's new president in a ceremony attended by world leaders. Mahama was sworn in at Black Star Square in Accra. The new president took over from Nana Akufo-Addo, who succeeded him in 2017. Before Mahama's swearing in, Nana Jane Opoku Agyemang was inaugurated as the country's first female vice president. A quick recap on the news this evening. You heard fire outbreak has damaged shops at Rumola, Obiakpo. 3 people have died from Port Harcourt's gas explosion as government seals gas station in Rumukuta. Rivers State Commissioner for Health Adeze Ore has confirmed admission of 16 victims of gas explosion. Over 570,000 Nigerians have applied for customs job in just 1 week. On the foreign scene, John Mahama sworn in as Ghana's new president. The news was edited by Onyeka Chinwosu. To reach the news team, send an SMS or WhatsApp to 0808 721 7215. I am Kalada Kurubatibo. Good evening.